To the naked eye, this looks like a standard 5.5 metre Zodiac rib, but underneath it's hiding a pretty special secret, because this is the SEAir flying rib and it has a pair of carbon fibre foils. SEAir are a reasonably new company, but they're determined to bring foiling to motorboats. So we're here in Lorient in France to get out to sea and see if it works. So now you can see how the foils look now the boat's out of the water. They're pure carbon fibre, over 100 layers of fibre and then resin used to fuse them together. They take 2 weeks to build by hand, but they've also got a multi-axis robot that can build them in 3 days. And then they're slotted into the hull into a reinforced composite box, and you can adjust them using an electric actuator as well. And then it's a standard Yamaha 115 horsepower outboard. It's a long shaft version, but as you can see, it's got dolphin planes on the bottom section there. It also has a plane slightly higher up to deflect the spray, because of course the way the propeller works is totally different to when it's fully submerged, so there's a bit more spray flying around, so it has to deflect the spray back down. But yeah, really amazing bit of technology, and the effect out in the water, well, we'll see, won't we? It's probably worth mentioning as well that the foils will retract, so they close up to the hull. Actually, when you're manoeuvring, even with them deployed, you don't even feel like they're there. There's no real effect at slow speed, not for mooring. But if you want to raft up or get close to a quayside, you can lift them up so that they close up to the hull side.
As I have said, it takes 2 weeks to build the foils by hand, but SEAir does have access to a multi-axis robot, which means they can build them within a couple of days. However, this process is far more expensive, and for SEAir to make the business model work, they need to ensure that the foils are built to the highest standards, but at a price point that makes them attractive to the mass-producing manufacturers. SEAir has chosen a 5.5 metre Zodiac as its initial test bed, and on test we had a regular non-foiling 5.5 metre Zodiac to compare and contrast with two. At displacement speeds, the boat feels no different to handling a regular rib, and despite having those appendages in the water, manoeuvring in and out of a berth is no more difficult. On this prototype model, you have to set the rake of the foils before you set off, judging the conditions and adjusting them using the rocker switches on the helm accordingly. After that though, apart from a more accentuated hump onto the plane, it really doesn't feel all that different to driving a regular rib, and at around 20 knots the foils are becoming their most effective and you're hovering over the chop below. On test we managed a top speed of 32 knots, though SEAir claim that they've had 42 knots out of the rib in their own trials, and that fuel efficiency is 30% better than that of a regular planing rib, though we couldn't ratify this ourselves during our own sea trials. Clearly, in rougher weather, the foils can't stop the hull making contact with the water. That said, they do act like shock absorbers, so the ride is more comfortable, and we could carry more speed more comfortably than the regular planing 5.5 metre Zodiac. SEAir's ultimate goal is that, in the future, manufacturers will have a foiling pack on their options list which customers can tick and SEAir can supply the components for. Now there's a long way to go between making a 5.5 metre rib foil successfully and, say, a 50-foot sports cruiser, but given the boundless optimism, enthusiasm and knowledge of the SEAir team, they could be about to bring foiling to the masses.